Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Red Brothers Pod. I'm Victor.
I'm Alex.
And today we're here actually after two games. So obviously if you guys had been on the channel lately, you would have seen that we didn't do a video for the Atletico game. Now, there's a good reason behind that, and long story short, we're going to be rebranding the podcast a little bit. We've been going just under sort of 8-9 months now.
Yeah.
And we felt like there was a little bit of a change needed because due to the simple fact that Liverpool play every 3 days, we didn't want to get burnt out. And also it's very difficult to sort of keep up to date and on top of everything. So what we're planning to do from now is we're going to record one episode a week, which will always drop on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Now, in this video, we'll be covering any news, speculation, or any games that have happened between the weeks of the last recording and the new recording. So make sure to tune in, guys, show some more love, show some more support, and keep watching, and we'll keep providing the content. So just obviously going into the games now, as today we'll be talking about the Atletico game and the Everton game. So, which one are we starting with?
You know what? Let's go chronological order here.
That's what I was thinking.
Atletico.
Sorry, let me just stop you there. As a new little cool thing that we wanted to try on the podcast, we're going to set a 20-minute timer, and this 20-minute timer is going to basically be the time that we'll spend talking about the game. We wanted to introduce something like, where we're going to have to hurry up or think about topics to speak, just something to spice it up a little bit. So yeah, we'll be setting a 20-minute timer now, and yeah, let's get into Atletico. Now, starting off, where would you like to start? Tell me.
That's the thing, because the Everton game kind of ruins this now. But however, the streak of games where we've just nicked it in the final second of the game. I mean, was that like 5 or 6 games that we won it past the 83rd minute?
Yeah, it's 5 games in a row. Obviously, Arsenal was the earliest goal, which was, like you said, the 83rd minute there. And then, obviously, Atletico right after them. I mean, deja vu, really.
It's crazy.
If anything, honestly, it felt like watching the same game just the next
exactly
week.
And we go 2-0 up, yeah,
and we look like the best team in the world.
Exactly.
Doing it. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. I'm thinking it's like prime Barca.
The first 20 minutes against Atletico, like after the 2 goals go in like 6 minutes or something, I'm thinking, this is 4, 5, 6s. Like we could really do these here. And I was thinking what world of good that would do for our confidence, where obviously we find ourselves in these positions and let it slip.
Yeah.
But obviously, again, unfortunately, somehow Atletico get back in the game, and we find ourselves finding another late-minute winner. But not too much of a problem when you have the quality of Van Dijk off them corners. I mean, that goal that he does score in the last minute, I think it was just up in the air for a solid 5, 6, 7 minutes when we had that good run of just corner, and we felt one of them was going to go in.
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to touch about Atletico, actually, and this is something that I've heard other people say as well, and I was sort of thinking throughout the game, is that when we played the other games, Bournemouth, I always believed we'd find a winner. I didn't believe we'd find a winner away at Newcastle. I didn't believe we'd find a winner against Arsenal, and I didn't believe we'd find a winner against Burnley. However, against Atletico, for whatever odd reason,
I believed it.
I was so confident. Now, it could be the 5 games that they've just won in the last minute that makes us go, they'll probably do it again. But that internal feeling you get as a fan, you can just feel whether it's your day or not. And Atletico, I could definitely feel that, right, this might be our day today.
Yes.
And ultimately it was. Obviously, Van Dijk rising for the header, Szoboszlai with another assist, beautiful cross, and gets us over the line. Now, just touching on the game, I think the biggest topic really, not maybe the biggest topic, that would be the Van Dijk winner, but one of the key topics was Atletico's first goal. Obviously, Llorente scores it, but Griezmann was in front of the keeper. I mean, clear and obvious offside.
I mean, there's no doubt about it, and this is one of them ones that if we seen this goal go against us, we'd think and it got disallowed. We wouldn't question it.
No, not at all.
We wouldn't question it. Or let's say we scored that goal and it got disallowed, we still wouldn't question it. It makes perfect sense. We've seen examples of it in the Premier League, We've seen examples. It's
like-
all around football. It's just common knowledge.
Less sort of obvious cases of this we've seen disallowed, where the player might partially be covering
Yeah.
the keeper with like half of his body, but Griezmann was stood right in front of Alisson, and I think
and
even
this-
the TNT team doing the coverage for the night were
Yeah.
saying it was ridiculous that this
Yeah.
isn't disallowed.
Yeah, and for some reason, Griezmann's about like 6 meters away from any player, just so far in front, and it's just left the keeper like Alisson in such a position where, like, what can you do?
You could see visually by Alisson's reaction that it was really delayed.
Exactly.
And again, it's clear and obvious as to why. He's one of the best keepers at getting down low and saving those shots. Don't get me wrong, it does nestle nicely into the corner, so there could have been a possibility he wouldn't have saved it either way. But I think that, you know, when that player is standing in front of him and blocking his view, then I don't see the argument as to why it should have stood.
Exactly.
But again, I think similar to the Bournemouth game when we spoke, obviously, on the pod, we said that, you know, there was a massive error in VAR that could have ultimately cost us. It didn't, so it doesn't matter, and we don't want to be perceived as those ones that always complain about VAR. However, again, their whole comeback starts with a goal that shouldn't have been allowed. Now, if that goal doesn't go in right off the stroke of half-time, do they realistically get back into the game? I don't think so, because Slot has his half-time team talk. He goes, right, lads, calm this down, sort your heads out, get everything sorted. And, you know, I can imagine that we hold on to that lead a little bit better, if not maybe score a third. But when you take a blow like that just before half-time, you know, it changes the whole team talk, changes the whole dynamic and the mentality of the team, and it really did affect us. And, you know, it's just frustrating because, again, something that shouldn't be happening is happening, and it's costing us and making us go so deep down the well to pull these results out of, simply because the wrong decisions are being made.
And like people say, oh, like Liverpool ain't looking like certain because they're winning these games in the final minutes. But you look at Bournemouth, we wouldn't be in that situation if it wasn't for the mistake. You look at Atletico, it wouldn't be. It would be it wouldn't be so close.
Touching further on that point, if you look at Burnley, the player that gets sent off in the end, he should have been sent off in the first half.
Exactly.
Now 10 men playing against this Liverpool side, we would have wiped the floor with them.
Definitely.
Because we had over 60 minutes of 10v11. Would have had, should I say. So that's just another example of something not going in our favour that probably should have, and it costing us in the end. But, you know, the encouragement that I take from it is that we keep winning. And, you know, you look around the league now, we're 5 games in with just as many points clear at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Now, I remember it's very, very similar to the start of last season, although we lost, obviously, against Forest right at the start. But it's very, very similar, and I feel like the narrative is similar, where I'm hearing these Arsenal fans saying they're not really too worried, like there's a long season ahead. 100% correct, but this is all the same propaganda we was hearing last season.
Exactly, and to be fair,
as to why they'd catch us.
To be fair, Arsenal make this every single season when they're in the race with City. Oh, we're not too worried or this, and now we're going to win the league because we got these players, and he's injured and he's not injured, so it's fine. But it's just bollocks. Like, let's be real.
Do you know what? I feel like Arsenal fans view football as like a Netflix documentary. Now, I saw a reference to this on social media before, where there was the Player of the Year awards. Obviously, Van Dijk, Salah, and the whole team of the year were there, including like Rice, Gabriel, etc. And they were interviewing Rice, and he was saying how hard it is to come second so many times in a row and not be able to get over the line, but obviously we keep improving, we keep trying, whatever. And Van Dijk and Salah looked at each other and just
start laughing.
Yeah.
Innit?
So Gabriel then looked over towards the pair of Van Dijk and Salah, and then I'm seeing it all over Twitter like, oh, look at that stare, he's not going to be happy, watch till we see you at Anfield. It is literally Netflix FC. Like, you make scenarios in your head as to watch this, watch that, and then it just doesn't come to tuition.
They expect some magical miracle at the end of the movie with a happy ending, but it just doesn't happen, like some mad plot twist. But that's not how football works, you know what I mean?
Football is a very, very simple game. Winners win, losers lose.
Exactly. You score more goals, you win the game, you get more points.
I know, but obviously looking at the bigger picture, the ones that will win the trophies are the winners. And
Yeah.
You know, that's what I feel like is the biggest difference between us and Arsenal, is that we have those winners. We have players that have won before, that know what it takes and know how it feels, and you know, they're doing it again. They have that hunger to go again. Whereas obviously with an Arsenal, where they don't have that same sort of quality of player, maybe they do have the same quality or even better quality, but you can't win without winners.
And
And it's simple as that.
It's a mental thing. Like you can
100%.
narrow it down to that because let's be real with ourselves. They have quality, and like I wouldn't be surprised if I would be surprised if they win the league. However,
With the squad they
with,
have, it's not
with
surprising.
the players they have, it's not surprising that they're favourites. Like one of the favourites, I mean. So it must be a mental thing. Because what else would it come down to?
Well, look, obviously, you look at City in Europe before they won the treble, and every single year, and our dad, obviously, who is a City fan, would tell you the same thing. It was the mentality. They'd get to a certain point where the pressure gets too much, where there's all the eyes on them and they have to go out there and put on a display, and they just couldn't do it because they didn't have that mentality. And obviously, by bringing the right players to the club, by Guardiola slowly coaching this team, he managed to change that thinking. But obviously in Europe, City were poor for a long time. So I generally do think it is pardon me, I do generally think it is something to do with their mentality, but it's just too hard to say really and pin it down. I mean, in my opinion, and you know, definitely credit to him for what he has achieved, but in my opinion it's Arteta, because you know, he comes to Anfield, plays way too defensive. He had the opportunity to come to Anfield and beat us whilst we're still not at our strongest, and he sets up way too defensive and passive, and it costs them the game.
I agree.
Now you look at this weekend against City and the same thing happens. You know, he doesn't start Eze, he starts Marino instead, because he thought that City were going to try go punch for punch. Guardiola outsmarted him and said, you think that? I've seen your lineup. We're going to hit on the counter and play defensive, and good luck breaking us down. And, you know, it does cost, although they get the draw in the end, it costs Arteta 2 points. Whereas last season they beat them there 5-1. So, you know, I definitely think it's something to do with the manager and his lack of sort of taking risks and being too safe. But you never know. Maybe if he takes risks, he drops more points or whatever. But all I do know is that he doesn't strike me as a Premier League winning manager. But
Definitely,
I think we did get very, very much off topic there. We do have around 10 minutes left on Atletico. So let's go through some of the players who really stood out to you.
In Atletico,
I'll start to make it a bit
Gravenberch.
easier. Oh, yeah. Gravenberch for sure. He was unreal. But for me, I think that we saw for the first time this season, Mo Salah at his best. I mean, that goal that he scores was unbelievable.
That was
to
like
squeeze through 3 bodies.
That was like prime Salah type
Literally,
stuff.
versus City at Anfield in 22.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great to see Salah back to his full best. And, you know, we see that now looking into our, you know, next topic. Obviously gets the assist against Everton as well, which was a lovely little cross into Gravenberch. So yeah, for me it's good to see Salah right at his peak again, and I think that, you know, it's
only goes up from here, so
it's
exciting, man.
It's
really
very exciting and scary for everyone else, because I don't see how this Liverpool team are going to get stopped over the course of a 38 game season.
Yeah.
I just don't think
Exactly.
we can, and I genuinely think it is quite possible that we do hit 100 points this year. The only thing that depends on is whether we'll have someone to push us to them 100 points. Because last season,
when AFCON rolls around,
of course, but again, I think the squad is strong enough to be able to deal with that. But in regards to, obviously, you know, in regards to the long term, I don't see a team that can beat us, you know, over 2 games, especially not at Anfield. And when we do get proper clicking and gelling and that team looks like it's meant to, then I promise everyone else that it is scary hours for the league. And yeah,
I think everybody knows it.
I think everyone knows it, but
denial.
they're living in denial, literally. They just don't want to admit it. But
Definitely.
I know that when people go to sleep and think about, you know, the next round of fixtures, they know what's going to happen. And, you know, they know we're going to win, and they know we're going to win this league. It's just obviously about doing that now, and I think we proved last season we do have the capability to do so. And when you add the quality you've added with Isak, Wirtz, Ekatike,
Yeah.
Kirkes, Frimpong,
Yeah.
Mamadashvili,
Yeah.
the squad is surreal, and yeah, that is how you win leagues with that squad.
Definitely, but more on Atletico, not the
Again,
league.
yeah. We keep getting sidetracked.
It's just so stressful watching this team.
It is
So
genuinely.
stressful.
I have heart palpitations every 2 minutes.
It's not really enjoyable, but it's like worth it. It's like how do I explain this? It's like
for 90 minutes, it's the worst experience of your life.
it's like
But for those 2 minutes, like as the goal goes in and after, you just feel like you're on cloud 9 and just.
this is like a toxic girlfriend. Like it's precisely what it is. Yeah, you go through 3 days of argument, just speak to you one day. Yeah, sound.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, well, I would. I'd love a 3-0. We've got Southampton tonight, guys. So if we win this in the last minute, I don't know. I give up.
Chiesa hat-trick.
Yeah, maybe if he even plays. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult to be a fan in that situation. But I think you and I both know that when those 90-minute winners do go in, they just mean so much more. And I mean, even if you look at our celebrations, like against Everton, yeah, of course, we celebrated the goals. We were happy, like jumping around and that. But when you look at, for example, let's think of some last-minute winners here. Forest away, 23-24. Like, when that goal goes in, it was just chaos in the house. We was literally screaming like little girls.
Yeah.
So I think that as much as I agree with your point, and I hate it because it is genuinely 90 minutes of unenjoyment for 2 minutes of happiness, but that rush you get when that goal goes in is just unbelievable. Yeah,
crazy.
It's unbelievable. You feel like you've scored it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the best way to describe it.
I mean, but I think that feeling's only going to increase as the season goes
on.
on.
Yeah, as the points mean more and more.
But that's the thing, because 3 points today and 3 points at the end of May is the same 3 points. But
of course.
It's more like it's kind of more, you can see the table more clearly. You can see if these 3 points are going to affect you over the.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
We can lose next 3 games, but then go undefeated for the rest of the season.
And
it doesn't
still
matter.
win the league. Exactly.
But obviously, in the grand scheme of things, we don't know. So
but that is why I mentioned the example from Forest away, because that was so late in the season.
Table was much more clear.
And we really needed that 3 points.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, let's go through. I don't think we'll do player ratings. How much? 4 minutes. We can do some player ratings. Alisson.
So he concedes 2.
Quick fire.
He concedes 2, but like
none of them are his fault.
Yeah, I mean the second goal that Llorente scored.
It's just so jammy.
What? No, but I mean it's a good goal.
It's not though.
The way you catch, like,
don't get me wrong. The technique and the way he catches it is great.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about.
It literally flicks off McAllister's heels and just
but
like.
I mean, like the way he to catch it, it's
hella
good.
difficult.
It's a good goal.
Very difficult. Goal. Very high technique, but more luck than technique in that one, I think. Of course, for him to get the luck, he has to have the right technique, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But again, if it doesn't just so unfortunately clip off McAllister's heel, it goes over the bar and we have nothing to worry about. But yeah, Alisson for me can get a 7. There was a few good saves in there, and he wasn't at fault for any of the goals. Now, at right back, we played... Who did we play at right back? So guys, this is the problem with the new layout, but we'll try to keep on top of things a little bit more. But I genuinely can't remember who played at right back. So moving on to the centre backs, Konate and Van Dijk. That was easy. Konate for me gets a 8. I think he was really impressive.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first games where like we finally saw Konate.
Arsenal, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. But because obviously like one-off games. However, like we finally seeing Konate back and more consistently.
100%, yeah. But after Arsenal, I think that consistency started. He played well against Burnley after, played well obviously against Atletico and then Everton. So I think it started with that Arsenal game. But yeah, Ibu gets a 9, Van Dijk 9.5, scores the winner, colossal, clears everything. What else do you need?
Exactly, perfect centre back.
Quick fire as hell. Moving on to left back, Robbo played, scores a goal.
Well, it's not
Well,
hardly a goal. But
caresses it into
you know
the
what?
net.
We'll give him an 8.
We'll give him give him a 9.
All right, sure.
It's Robbo. Give him a 9. He deserves it. CDMs. We started
see
with
that.
Gravenberch and was it McAllister? Let me just confirm this,
Yeah.
Alex. You keep everyone entertained while I have a quick look.
Well,
You
see,
start with Gravenberch's rating.
No, what I'll do is I'll talk about a Robertson goal. Because have you ever seen someone do no look heel goal? Have you ever seen someone shoot like that?
I don't even think Firmino can do that.
Exactly. Mate, Ronaldinho, who, mate? We've got Robertson.
Right, so in the deep line positions, it was Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Both of them, in my opinion, get an 8.5.
Yeah.
Gravenberch obviously plays really well all round, winning the ball back, distributing, and Szoboszlai gets the assist.
And I think he looks better deeper than being
I agree.
a 10.
He has less to worry about moving forward, and he can proper utilise his work rate, his legs, and that pressing ability. So I'd have to agree with you on that one. But I do think he gets caught in tight spaces a little bit. But
yeah, true.
we haven't seen that since the first game of the season, Bournemouth.
Yes.
But against Palace in the Community Shield and Bournemouth, he did give the ball away a lot in the middle of the park, so it was a difficult one. I mean, Gravenberch actually got an assist versus Atletico as well, which I can't seem to remember. Was his was the pass to Salah, where he like runs in the box and just sort of like nudged it forward.
Yeah, would have been.
Yeah, so both of them 8.5. I think that's fair. Salah goal and assist 9.5 as well. I think him and Virgil are contenders for man of the match. Wirtz also played again. I think it was a better Wirtz performance, but
still not where I want to see him. But it's better than what we've seen previously.
Yeah. But I think he was very effective in the Atletico game. I think a lot of our attacks went through him. And again, his distribution is really good. And, you know, he's so close to scoring a goal when he takes it around the keeper and then Frimpong tries to shoot and he just misses it.
Yeah.
There was another chance where...
Whoa.
We're going to finish. There was another chance where obviously he has the opportunity to assist Salah, where he hits the post. So we're literally talking about this much on both of them, from him finishing with a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
So for me, it gets a 7.5. Moving on, left wing, it was No, it wasn't. It was Gakpo, of course.
I think he didn't play
He
great.
was poor, 6.5, I think. Not too much slander on Gakpo. I really love him.
I just don't think he was involved, though.
But yeah, that game he just wasn't involved. And up front, Isak, 6.5. Again, didn't really do much.
But I think what he showed was very promising. I think what he showed is much more promising than what Wirtz showed in his first couple games.
For sure. Again, we can clearly see he's just getting back his fitness, and once he does it again, it's scary hours. So just before we move on to Everton, let's give Slot a rating.
10.
Let's do it. Man of the match.
Slot, nah.
That's crazy. For me, Virgil van Dijk.
Okay, I mean, I can agree with you. It's between him and Salah, of course, like we said. But yeah, Virg.
Cool. Time for Everton at Anfield.
Right. Okay. So this is where the heart palpitations kind of stopped. Well, kinda.
In the first half, they stopped. Second half, they couldn't be worse.
Okay. Yeah. Let me rephrase this. The heart palpitations
temporarily stopped.
With a last-second relief stopped.
Okay.
However,
the palpitations continued in all reality.
Yeah. So
now,
probably worse.
Let's start with the start, because that might have been some of the best football I've seen in years in that first 30
It's like
minutes.
Atletico after we scored the first two.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, the first half hour, unbelievable. Wow, the football we were playing. Just look at the 2 goals that are scored. Gravenberch with a lovely volley, something you'd see Dennis Bergkamp score.
Amazing.
And Ekitike obviously slotting it lovely in the corner through Pickford's legs. It's just beautiful. And then something switches. I just don't know what it is. Can you put a finger on what it could be? Complacency?
I think we just, what we're going to do is basically we're going to put on a really good show for all our fans, right? So we purposely give away goals to make the games more interesting.
Shit.
Or they got told that the NHS are bored and they need more people with heart attacks, so they have something to do. So that's that. These are my
could be a good theory.
these are my two theories.
mean-
This is turning into Joe Rogan podcast.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. Anyways, I mean, yeah, it's difficult because there is nothing you can pin your finger on as to what is causing this breakdown in the team. It just doesn't make sense why we play unbelievable for half hour, get 2 goals, which is the hardest thing to do.
We must get bored. Like, I don't get it.
So, into what you just said there with being bored, that falls under complacency for me.
Yeah.
I think we go 2 up and we
okay.
feel, they're not coming back, and if they try, we're scoring a third. And then all of a sudden the momentum shifts and we're thinking, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's time to start
'Cause
panicking.
Maybe this isn't like a key part of it, but a slight part of it might be because every game in the Prem is pretty much a tough game, right?
Oh,
Even like a Burnley away, that's tough. But if for example in the Bundesliga, if you're playing bottom of the table away, you're not going to think that's like, okay, I don't know, but like I feel like there's a big difference.
There's a difference between levels.
Yeah,
100%.
there's a big difference. The league and the Premier League is a lot closer. So I think maybe the mentality of certain players that have just came in might see this fixture, like for example Everton, they might think that, like, you know, we scored 2. and
Bad
they're
example because it's a
okay, yeah,
derby, but Burnley, I see where you're
but
coming from.
They might just think like, okay, like we're Liverpool, look at the squad we've got, these can't touch us, especially after we're 2-0 up, these can't touch us no matter what, and then players get clumsy, and then and it's panic mode.
I mean, 100%, and I think that again, another thing that sort of baffles me a little bit is, like, you know, how we can't seem to then pick up control again after. It's like once we lose control of the game, it's gone, and now we're just scrapping for our lives to get something out of it, and that's more concerning. But what I think it could be, and again, it might not be, but you know, a lot of these players aren't fit yet. Not fit for 90 minutes. When Ekatike comes in, you think of Bournemouth and Newcastle. We was 2-0 up in both those games. Ekatike comes off. We don't have a striker anymore. And then all of a sudden, there's more pressure on us because we don't have an outlet. There's no out ball. When we're under pressure, we have nothing to do because it goes straight back to their centre backs.
This is true,
So with me, it could be a fitness thing. With the way that Slot has to use the squad and utilise it, and these players not just being 100% yet could be the reason as to why. And this is why I don't think it's going to be a long-term problem, because I feel like, with Isak coming in now, that changes it as well. Now we got 2 strikers, that shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know whether both strikers are fit for 90 minutes. But that's besides the point. And what I was just sort of going towards is that I don't think it is a long-term thing. I think that when these players get sharper and fitter and get more chemistry amongst themselves by naturally playing games, you know, winning, scoring, etc., I think that this is a problem we'll very quickly see go away and not think about anymore.
You'd hope so.
You
But
would.
one thing I want to say is I feel a bit bad for Ekatike because I think in football it's quite... Because, of course, let's say Isak gets subbed off 60th minute, Ekatike plays the rest, and even like vice versa. But it's hard for... It might be difficult for these footballers to find their flow if they're not getting consistent minutes.
But again, look how long this season is and how many games we have to play. As a religious FM player, not me being religious, I'm just religious towards Football Manager. I know how this rotation works. I have 2 strikers as well, and they share the minutes between themselves. Now, what the problem was last season, you look at our start, brilliant. We was unbelievable. Real Madrid got dealt with, City got dealt with, United away dealt with, everyone got dealt with, Even when everyone said we couldn't do it, we fucking did it. But the problem was, when we got to March, April, everyone was tired. Form is out the window.
True.
There's no legs in the squad. We're struggling every game. We're just scraping past bottom of the barrel opponents. Now, why do you think that we've focused so heavily on building this squad? It's so that, because I'll tell you what, 100%, if Slot was here now and we asked him, what's your biggest regret or the most hurtful thing that happened last season, he'll say PSG. Why? Because we ran out of steam. Carabao Cup final, we run out of steam. Now add Ekitike off the bench, add Rio off the bench, add Chiesa off the bench, add the fact that now we can comfortably rotate because Slot has players he trusts.
Yeah, which is important. That's key.
Exactly. Last season he didn't have that. So even when we needed the rotation or could rotate versus a lower league, not a lower league, but a lower end of the table side, Slot didn't trust the players enough to go out there and get the result. Again, why? Because of Plymouth. Because Elliott played that game, Chiesa played that game, loads of our fringe players played that game, and it was shocking.
It was.
And that's where the lack of trust then came later in the season. So it's not a bad thing that we have options, because that's what you need to be competitive over a 60-game season. And, you know, if they do split the minutes equally between them, that's 30 games each. There's 38 games in the Premier League. So it all works out. You've just got to trust the process. And, you know, when we're sat here in a year after the season's finished and we're talking about this, then we're able to clearly go, yeah, look how much that rotation helped us moving forward. And as, again, someone that's been watching Liverpool for almost a decade now, actually it's been a decade, which is unbelievable. But as someone that's watched Liverpool for a decade now, especially in the Klopp era, due to how intense he was, we always struggled past March. It was our hardest part of the season every year. And as you know, that's when it's crunch time for the Prem. Now, if last season Arsenal weren't 10 points behind us and it was City a point behind us, we could have very comfortably flopped the title.
Definitely.
So this is what I mean. It's not bad at all. And of course, people make this a conversation because Ekitike is really good, but that's why he's there, to be really good, just not all the time.
Yeah,
if that
true.
makes sense.
Because to be fair, it's not like he's exceeding expectations by
massively.
By far. I mean,
4 goals already, 5 if you include the community shield.
I mean, for someone who's just came into the Prem.
I mean, he's our top scorer.
Yeah, exactly. From Bundesliga, it's unheard of. And
well, Haaland will tell you otherwise.
Okay. Other than okay.
Yeah, well, we can't. Let's not talk about aliens here.
Yeah, exactly.
But that'll be back to Joe Rogan podcast settings. But yeah, I totally agree with you. And again, this is why you have that variety. Now, another aspect of it that I wanted to touch on that isn't as prominent as well to the sort of day-to-day football enjoyer, but we have the keys to unlock any team. We play a low block, no problem. Wirtz, Isak, boom. Wirtz is going to create chances, Isak's going to finish. Oh, we're playing a team that wants to go punch for punch. Okay, we'll put Szoboszlai in to absolutely run that midfield, be up and down and break the game up and progress us. So now we have different solutions for different problems in the game. And that's why we're getting these late winners, because we have so many solutions to problems.
Yeah, that makes sense, because
and City at their best had this.
Yeah.
They had solutions for everything. They had fast wingers that would get in behind, but they had slow technical wingers that will whip a ball in or do a bit of a dribble and get past 2 or 3 men and make something happen.
Yeah, and
so this is what it's about.
And this is why Slot's a great manager, because throughout the game he sees the game.
Yes.
And he sees the opposition and he knows what to do, but with each opposition. And now with the bigger squad.
And what did we see last season? Because even without this big squad last season, what happened? We'd play a first half against someone, probably didn't play the best, maybe it's still 0-0, but we come out the second half a different team, catered to what they're doing and counteract what they're trying to do, and 9 times out of 10 we win the game. So this is something Slot has been doing, but not with enough resources. Now give him these resources and watch what happens.
Exactly, and this is why I'm so confident winning the Premier League. And
I've never felt like this at the start of the It was surreal to me at the start of the season that I'm going into a season thinking we're going to win the league. Like, this doesn't usually happen.
Exactly.
Even when we were at our pinnacle, at our best, winning Champions League, it was always
ahead.
City.
We're already 5 points ahead.
5 games in, 5 points ahead.
If we listen, right, 5 games in. If we go at this rate, another 5 games. Now we're what? 10 points ahead.
Clear.
15.
Sounds like
20,
last season, Alex.
25 points ahead. And
like I said, sounds like last season. And it genuinely feels like that again, where we've got that buffer over Arsenal now. They're going to keep waffling how they're not worried about us. We'll drop points. Everyone drops points. But then they'll forget they'll also drop points. And over the course of the season, they're going to drop more than us. From this point now, today, they're going to drop more points than us, if you don't count the ones they've already dropped, than we will for the end of the season. That's my prediction. Make of that what you will, but that's what I believe. And I think we win the league because of that, of course.
Yeah,
but going back to Everton, obviously, let's touch on a couple of the key players in that game. I'll start off with our absolute favourite, Ryan Gravenberch. Give this man his flowers, because he is the best midfielder in the fucking world. I don't want to hear, oh, Caicedo, oh, Rice. Basmati Rice ain't got a chance with him. He can't turn half as quick as he can. He ain't got... Listen, Declan Rice and Caicedo combined do not have the technical ability of Gravenberch that Gravenberch has in his left pinky. Never mind his whole left foot. Never mind the right one. And he is the best midfielder in the world. I do not want to hear it ever again about these silly shouts about everyone else, because it's just not true. Just watch this guy.
Literally. And you know what? They'll keep saying that until he plays against your team. And then he smokes your team, and then what?
And then what?
And then you're going to see that. And then you're going to still be in denial.
You used to laugh at me. I must say, you're not laughing now, are you? That's the best quote. And, you know, every for example, in the office, obviously, when I'm working, we like to talk about football a lot. And last week I got asked, Victor, who do you think is currently the best centre mid in the league? Naturally, I responded with Gravenberch, and I got laughed at. He then proceeded to score that goal against Everton and absolutely boss Atlético Madrid, which further backs my point. So he is the best in the world. I don't want to hear it. There ain't another holding midfielder like him, because no other holding midfielder can pull off that volley he just did. No other holding midfielder can dribble like him. And interceptions, defensively wise, all of that you want from your holding midfielder, he does it all. Every single piece of play that you'd need a midfielder to be involved in or do or get or understand, just does.
It's crazy. How has he mastered every single part of his game? I can't pick a weakness.
And just another topic I wanted to touch on off topic. Give Slot his flowers, because he came to Liverpool without a defensive midfielder, and he said, no problem, I will fix this, because that's what great managers do. They get resourceful, they look at their squads, and they fill the gaps, and that's exactly what he did, creating one of the best midfielders in the world, if not the best at the moment. And huge credit has to go to Slot for that, because he emerged Gravenberch as this brilliant footballer, and we're seeing exactly what we saw at the start of last season, where we're literally finishing a game, Gravenberch is either man of the match or second in line. Next week, Gravenberch is man of the match, second in line. Third week, rinse and repeat. So the most consistent, the most brilliant, the best to watch in my opinion, that's Ryan Gravenberch for you. How long we got left?
Got 4 minutes, which is perfect for
some player ratings. Now, in goal, Alisson again concedes the one goal, which was right in the top corner.
Not his fault at
but
all.
A lot of saves in there, a lot of sort of crosses that he dealt with that were difficult and deep. So yeah, Gravenberch, see, he's still on my mind. Alisson for me gets a 8. I think that's fair. Moving on, right back, Connor Bradley. Now, I've seen a few different takes on his performance. I've seen some say it was negative because Grealish had the better of him. But for me, I just loved that he kept going.
Yeah.
He just kept going.
Yeah.
And every time Grealish got the ball, he was there.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he did also dispossess him.
What people are forgetting is that like Bradley, he's young. And he doesn't have much experience in the he's played a lot, but he doesn't have a lot of experience in the first squad consistently. And for him to come on once every in a while, and for him to put up a performance against an established Premier League champion, Grealish is
£100 million player.
And people are saying he got absolutely burnt, but I don't think he got burnt. Obviously, there was a fight. I think it was a rivalry, and I love the rivalry.
Exactly.
But
it creates that little extra flavour for the game.
I don't think he got burnt. I think he did well. Obviously, Grealish got the better of him at times, but Bradley still also defended him.
Does Grealish finish the game with a goal?
No.
Does Grealish finish the game with an assist?
No.
Does Grealish finish the game as the winner?
No.
So what are we talking about?
Exactly.
So Bradley for me gets an 8 as well. I really liked him,
Yeah.
his energy, and obviously going forward he is still brilliant. Next to him, obviously Konate and Van Dijk. Think it's fair to give them 8.5s again.
Yeah.
Obviously solid as ever. It's all you could ever ask for, really, in a centre back pairing. They complement each other so well. So yeah, that's the ratings for me. Left back Kirkes, unbelievable against Everton. He was fantastic. A lot better. And again, I think it was more of an Arsenal performance where he did really well defensively, but going forward, I really liked his energy as well. So he gets extra points for me for that, and I think he deserves an 8.5 as well.
Yeah.
Gravenberch in midfield, 10. I don't.
Sure.
There's no debate in. I don't care.
Man of the match as well. It's just solidify that.
Goal and assist against the blue shite. Then obviously in midfield next to him, Maka started. Again, I don't think Maka's fully up to scratch yet.
Not yet.
Again, it's another one where he's not fully fit, and we knew that when he was with Argentina because their coach said he's not fully fit. So we knew this before the season, and it is just about slowly bedding him in, making sure that by playing him, we're not re-aggravating the injury or causing him further trouble. So again, it's one of them ones that we just sort of have to maintain over time, but I'm sure we will. Obviously, in front of them, what are we giving McAllister? 7?
Yeah. 7.
In front of them, Szoboszlai again. Legs were there all day long. Really influential for us.
Yeah,
wins the
a
ball
lot more
back
impressive than last season, I believe.
Yeah, and also very physical, which is quite important as well in games like this.
Yeah.
For me, he gets an 8 as well. Salah can get a 9 for the assist as well. Obviously, beautiful pass through to Gravenberch. And all round, I felt like it was a good Salah game. Created quite a bit, couldn't get a goal, but I think he still gets the 9 for me. Left wing Gakpo.
It's quiet again,
ineffective,
man. I think he's out of form, but I know what that guy can do. I just know.
So this one, recently I've seen a lot of Gakpo slander. I do not want to hear it because last season he was unbelievable. Scored against Madrid at home, scored City at home, scored against United at home, scored in pretty much every big game of the season. So we're not trying to hear any Gakpo slander. Well, we've got to finish the player ratings. We are literally at the final hurdle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Gakpo for me gets a 6.5 again. Not great, but look, we know what he's capable of. And when he's back on form, everyone will know it. And up front, that just leaves us with, 2 people left, really. We've got Ekatike, who, in my opinion, gets a 9 as well. Beautiful finish, takes his goal really well. There's some lovely tricks and flicks in there as well. There was one with his back heel over his head. So yeah, Ekatike gets a 9 for me.
Same.
And Slot will give it 8 because again we go 2-0 up. We couldn't control that lead, but we do get the result in the end. And on that note, I think we've finished the first rebranded episode of the Red Brothers pod.
Yep. So thank you for joining us today. Obviously, timing's a bit strange, but we're gonna have to deal with it.
And we'll see you guys after Southampton and Palace.
Thank you.